Good morning, everyone, and welcome to The Tilt. Things I learned today. It is September 10th, 2025. We are off on the daily ruck, and after I get done recording with you guys, then I get a chance to go walk down the power line road and see if we got any trash sitting around out there. But I had a really neat little thing. Just as in the morning when I wake up at 4:30, I'll let myself kind of dork around for 30 minutes on the internet, and then I'll get into my couple hours of study time. Well, this morning I ran across this video from Scott Adams. If you guys aren't familiar with him, he's been on our show, and it's a quote from him saying, "What if laziness is just a habit?" But the habit not being of delaying things or procrastinating, but the habit is that we put our thinking, our mental investment, all of our assessment that's going in is going in for the sake of thinking about the work that has to be done. But what if our thinking and our mental horsepower went toward thinking of the end result, went toward thinking of the wonderful meal we're going to have, and not the work it's going to take to prepare it, or the work it's going to take to run to the store or the restaurant to get it. So it's something to think about when you think about the next thing that you might delay doing this evening. Might be kind of fun to consider what would happen if you just change your thinking to the end result and see if you get a different outcome. Oh yeah. On that topic, he was saying, women say all the time or joke all the time, if I remembered how hard it was to have a baby, I wouldn't have had a second one. And that's a great example of how we quite easily even choose hard things to go through because we want the end result of, say, a family or another baby in the case of pregnancy. Another great thing to consider, this is a reminder from my devotional this morning, is that having peace in your life doesn't mean your life is peaceful or doesn't have a lot of trials. And that peace is something we find in our faith. And so despite things, could be arrows flying over your head in life, metaphorically speaking, and there's a real opportunity to have peace in the midst of that. One quick request, just curious if anybody has like a really great video they have on Robert's Rules of Orders. If you guys want to post that in the comments below. Getting ready to help lead a new nonprofit board, and it would be great if somebody has a really great video that way. I want to send one out to all the new board members. All right, now that book, Right Thing Right Now. There's a section where it's talking about power and influence, etc. But one thing I loved is it said, the opposite of power is powerless. Is that what you want? And often people will complain about power or get bothered even when you bring up something like in a negotiation, well, who has the power here? People can bristle. And he wrote in the book, you can resign and protest. You can call them all bastards. You can damn the whole world as corrupt and broken. Just know that in doing so, you may put yourself out of the running to be of service to anything but your sense of superiority. I got to read that again because I think we see that a lot anymore in life. You can resign and protest. You can call them all bastards. You can damn the whole world as corrupt and broken. Just know that in doing so, you may put yourself out of the running to be of service to anything but your sense of superiority. So, what a great thing when a situation or a system bothers us is to think about, is this something I'm just going to resign from? It won't change anything. Or is this something I want to tilt into and make a difference? Really amazing story about a controversial figure, Harvey Milk, the now, oft talked about historical mayor of San Francisco. But something he did that was very pragmatic, and it was talked about in this pragmatist section. What he did during this big strike that was going on, I think he was a council member at the time, and the beer distributors union was having a big disagreement with, I think, Coors. And Harvey Milk, inside the Democrat platform at that time, was very pro-union. So even though it wasn't something particularly important to his constituents in the LGBTQ community of San Francisco, but unions were important to the platform. So he tilted in, called the union boss, and helped get those products banned while they were not renegotiating the labor contract from all of the gay bars in San Francisco. So you could imagine the kind of weight that was. And then when the union boss called for his union members, who were unbelievably biased against gays, like I won't even say on YouTube the quotes in the books of how these union members talked about it when the union boss said, "Hey, we need to vote for Harvey Milk." And they're like, "What? I'm not voting for a gay guy." And he said, "He's the guy that got us the contract with Coors." So it's really a unique way to think about the kind of value we can build in communities we don't even share a background with, may not even like you. And yet, if you're a pragmatist, you can actually get yourself to a great outcome, even in a bad situation. That was a cool story. And then, pragmatism without virtue is dangerous and hollow. Virtue without pragmatism is ineffectual and impotent. So, got our neighbors driving by. So with that, I want you guys to think about that couple things today. I think that idea of what Harvey Milk did and being able to work that deal with the unions, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And it's a great example of that quote I gave is, he could have said all those union people are bastards, and maybe did in his private time, but he came alongside them and was of service to them, and in return they were willing to be of service to him, his values, and his campaign. So with that, I hope today's tilt has helped you get away from some of the short form stuff, think a little longer, and maybe hear about a book or a concept you're going to learn about more today. See you back here tomorrow. I'm glad you could join me on today's Daily Tilt. I hope that it helps you tilt into your day, tilt into your learning, and maybe you learn something to let you go a little bit deeper today. So with that, put something you learned in the comments below, and we'll see you tomorrow.